Test. Can you hear me? Hey, I'm out here at the Ivy Tech Conference Center in Marion. Tomorrow I'm going to be giving a speech about business and growing a business and also graduating from Ivy Tech, so really excited to do it. I went to Ivy Tech for my culinary degree, and I also have a business degree and a hospitality administration degree, all associate degrees, and I got them all from Ivy Tech. So anyway, they asked me to be a guest speaker about a month or so ago for their annual board of trustee meeting, and they are buying bacon jam for every attendee that comes to the meeting. So I just got to take the bacon jam out there a day ahead of time, and I'm taking them recipe cards and a little thank you card for everybody. Anyway, they want me to come and speak about my time at Ivy Tech and the classes that I took and graduating from Ivy Tech, the impact that had on my career, and then obviously a touch base on my career and what I'm doing and what I've done, the chefing that I've done, and then going into opening my consulting business and talk about my food service business and my retail business. They're all kind of intertwined into one, which is what MidwestFresh is. So it should be a cool little speech. I'm hoping I get to record it, so maybe it'll be on this video. Stay tuned.
So if you would just allow me a few moments to have Kevin come, talk to us, tell us a little bit about who he is, what he's doing, and what Ivy Tech has meant in his life.
Thank you. Perfect. Thanks, and again, thanks for clapping. Sorry if I brought the papers. This is probably the third time I've talked publicly, except for a public speaking class in Ivy Tech. So, yeah, no, I read it a couple times before I came tonight, and I'm much more comfortable with it than while I was typing it. So anyway, thank you for having me here. I really appreciate the opportunity, and thanks for getting a hold of me, and thank you. My hope through Ivy Tech and why it worked well for me. If I'm really lucky, maybe all you guys will go home and place online orders on my website. If I had to mark down all the events that transpired that got me here, it would be really hard for me to do that. Which is why I have the camera in the background now. So I have recently started a MidwestFresh YouTube channel. Everything from business meetings that over the phone. I'm in 5 Meijer locations in Fort Wayne and one in Kokomo and the one in Marion also. And I've recorded myself giving samples, meeting with the managers, following up with the camera basically at every important milestone. So I started a how to start a retail business channel, and that's what it's called. It's how to start a retail business, MidwestFresh, and then how to grill like a champion. The grill like a champion part is still a work in progress because I haven't really gotten to the point to where I'm doing live cooking demonstrations on YouTube yet, but I actually I've built the setup, and I'm going to start doing those videos soon. So anyway, I'm going to have this video documented on my YouTube channel, and I'll tag Ivy Tech in it, and hopefully it gets a good following. I really think that the live cooking demonstrations and the YouTube channel alone, and ever since I started posting things on Instagram and Facebook, creating those business accounts, in the last 2 weeks, my following has probably increased by over 200 or 300 followers easily. So I have seen the impact incredibly short term. It's awesome. So anyway, to get into it, I started cooking when I was a young kid. I had an aunt on a macrobiotic diet. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's really, really extreme We ate tree bark one time. It was like steamed and ground up, and we seasoned things with ground sesame seed. She had like 27 kinds of cancer, 27 different types of cancer, and this diet was what she wanted to do, and it was a way that I could go and be a part of her life, and I really enjoyed every minute cooking with her, and we ate the craziest things, and it was a lot of fun. So before going, she made me promise to be a chef, and that's what basically, in the end all be all. Even though, after leaving high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do, you know, so Ivy Tech was kind of the perfect fit for me, and I started business classes, I started culinary classes, I switched back and forth. I probably switched my degree 7 times my first year. I bet you guys are familiar with people doing that. I really wasn't sure where I was headed. I did hear recently, or not, back then I heard that Ivy Tech was expanding their culinary program, and I decided to fulfill, the promise to Aunt Becky, which meant a lot to me, and it means more to me now than it meant then. So culinary classes I took were long. They were 4 hours at times. I would go to school in the morning and take a 4-hour class, go to school in the evening, take a 4-hour class. It would be dark when I showed up. It would be dark when I left. But it honestly didn't feel like school anymore. It was more fun. The classes, they weren't really classes. They were like cooking extravaganzas. It was hands-on learning experience that really suited my style of absorbing knowledge. The word school kind of carried a different meaning. It was all about soaking in information. The baking class, knife skills, pastries, soup stocks and sauces, garde-manger, I could name them all off. I still have some of my books and folders at home on my bookshelf. Soup stocks and sauces is by far my thickest folder. It was wider than the ream, and I still reference it sometimes today. I made a mother sauce board, where it has 52 mother sauces on it, and I did that twice actually. I don't know why, but I made 2 of them. So I learned a lot at college, and it impacted my career heavily in the business realm and in the culinary realm. So my time at Ivy Tech catapulted me into the culinary realm. I immediately took a job at the Bridgewater Club in Carmel, Indiana, which is a really prestigious country club. The initiation fee is $35,000 just to have the opportunity to pay their monthly dues. Yeah, I know. So I was able to really fine-tune some skills from a couple awesome chefs there. One I remember today, I still remember it like very vividly. It was 5:30 in the morning. I was there prepping the breakfast buffet, and no expense was spared. There was a live action omelet station, a waffle station, bacon, eggs, all of that stuff was guaranteed to be there. We did 2 quiches, 1 spinach strata, and the hard thing every day was 200 eggs Benedicts, which we had to serve to order, and there was usually only me and one other banquet chef or helper there. And this particular day, my banquet helper called off. And so breakfast starts at 6:30, which a lot of you probably are familiar with. And I have 5:30, it's crunch time in the kitchen. Chef Joe walked in the door, and he could tell that it was like really go time for me. I was trying to get everything done, and asked me if I was okay, and obviously I didn't even answer him. And he just merely barked out some orders to the front line cooks and coordinated some help for me. They busted out the hollandaise sauce and so a few other things, and it all came together right on time. And later that day we talked, and he explained the power of delegation and the difference between a chef that cooks and a chef that creates and manages. And I'll never forget that conversation. I'm at the Marriott and on the island of Guam. My sister's in the military, or she's actually transitioning out of the military right now, and she had a condo on the island of Guam, so I went to go and visit her, but actually went there and worked at the Hyatt. They had 3 restaurant concepts in the hotel. It was a really awesome place. I returned home and took the executive chef and opening operator position at Grains and Grill in Fairmount, Indiana. A lot of people are familiar with Grains and Grill. I designed the kitchen. I ran the gas plumbing. I hooked up the heat lamps. I hired the front house and the back of the house. I wrote standard operating procedures. I wrote the daily special menu. In the beginning, we had six specials every day on the special board that I would rotate as needed. And I handled all the deliveries, including everything except alcohol. Primarily, I focused my attention on procurement of goods from farms in the local area. So a lot of the stuff that we served at Grains and Grill would be from as local as I could get it. And in some cases, it was because I hooked up with a local distributor that was really good about telling me what farm these things, they got the green onions from, or it may be because I knew the buffalo farmer that was like right down the road, and we have videos on my YouTube channel now of the buffaloes that we're going to be processing my bacon jam into buffalo snack sticks. During my time at Grains and Grill, countless guests would ask for, and I really mean lots of people would ask for to-go cups of the cocktail sauce or the bacon jam or the vinaigrettes, and I'd give it to them, and I always thought it was really cool to have that in their fridge, at home, and they would always say, yeah, I'm going to use it later, we're using it for a party, it never really clicked in the beginning, and then finally the light bulb went off of what I really needed to do. So I created the LLC for MidwestFresh in July of 2017 and launched my restaurant consulting firm. I've opened up 5 restaurants since then for other people, everything from standard operating procedures to writing recipes, training. Sometimes I'll just go in and maybe train them on a simple procedure like how to make prime rib. It really doesn't matter. Making pizzas, providing pizza sauce. Pizza sauce is one of my products, so I opened up the Plymouth Club Brick Oven Pizza here in Marion, and they use all my pizza sauce on their pizzas there. There's a couple other restaurants that use my food service packaging. So I have 17 SKUs right now that are in use. I have 10 retail SKUs and 8 food service SKUs. The bacon jam is probably the most popular one. I have bacon jam, and the spicy bacon jam obviously is a really popular one also. They both sell really well, and it's been what has really catapulted my business into what it is today. That and the pizza sauce. Everybody really loves the pizza sauce and the barbecue sauce, but there's like a million barbecue sauces now. After opening the first restaurant, I realized that giving people, or basically selling the recipes and the procedures, was not necessarily the best idea, and I stopped selling my recipes. I stopped selling the procedures. I found a co-packer, and I launched my food service product line. I had gallons of everything. I was no longer selling recipes and procedures. I was selling my own condiments, sauces, and marinades. In February of 2018, I launched my retail product line, which is all the jars. That's why you're going to get one of those tomorrow. And so shelf space, shipping dates, warehouse slotting fees, retail distributors is just the tip of the iceberg. I had no idea, what the retail game was all about. And it was pretty familiar for me, but the retail, it was so much bigger of a game plan. I've learned that brand means everything, and attention to your brand is invaluable. I've successfully gotten my retail products into over 200 retail locations. My brand is available in 6 states. I'm working on closing deals today that I was not even considering the possibility of closing a year ago. Those words, within reach, they mean something different to me now. It just means I have to run faster and jump higher, and everything is within reach. Looking back from here, I used to think that it would be awesome to have product in a grocery store, and especially a go-to product in somebody's refrigerator. And This year alone, I've sold over $25,000 worth of bacon jam in retail jars. And just the thought of it gets me fired up. So anyway, looking forward, I feel like, the mountain has merely grown taller and taller. Every time I reach a plateau, it's not necessarily a plateau, but just a new springboard for my next task. So I don't really want to reach the top of the mountain. If I'm lucky, it will keep growing taller and taller. And I really appreciate the climbing gear I got at Ivy Tech. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So yesterday I gave that speech and it went really well. Everybody there was thankful that I came. Surprisingly, I was appreciative to have been able to give the speech and go and meet the new connections. And the president of Ivy Tech came up and was really grateful for me to be in there and sharing my story. And it, all in all, was a great time. And right now I'm on the way to Ivy Tech to drop off some bacon jam because they're gonna pass it out for free to the staff and everyone that was at the meeting. So everything worked out for me. I met some new connections, got a little sale out of the deal. Everybody really loved the products. In the middle of the speech, one of the vice president of Ivy Tech, the senior vice president, placed an order on my website, so it's all paying off.